Cool.
Like, so I'm very excited. And I know you are, Matt, are we rolling?
Oh yeah, we are live.
Okay. Yay. And I'll let you
everyone.
introduce yourself.
Cool. So, hi to the general community. My name's Carrie O'Donnell, pronouns she, her. I'm the head of adult services for the Somerville Public Library.
Can I ask what adult services pertains to? Or we'll get there.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Absolutely. Because that is something that people are like, what? What does that title mean? So you generally can find me at the Central Library, which is right up the street on Highland Ave. I have just a little background on me. I have been a librarian since 2013. That's when I got my degree. I have been told, luckily, I look younger than I am. So I have been a librarian for about 13 years now.
Wow.
I started working at the SPL in 2018, and I've been in my current role. I was a reference librarian, and now I'm in my current role as the head of adult services since 2021. So, like, pandemic times.
Which was a wild west of a time to be in any public-facing.
Absolutely was.
I was a teacher during like 2021, and I was like, and it's the Wild West.
It really is, and it really was. It was such an interesting and unique time to be a librarian. So head of adult services can mean different things from place to place. So it's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of role. In my case, I oversee things that would fall under the general banner, because I don't do all of it, but services that are for adults, basically. So I don't oversee the reference desk. I don't oversee like research or local history or anything like that. We have some fantastic librarians who know so many niche things about our local history. I am not one of those librarians. What I do is I do a lot of adult and all age, or no age programming and events.
So like recreation, like the fun and games of it all.
Yes. Oh,
love
yes.
that.
This is a job that I feel is specifically cultivated for me.
I love that. That's so amazing.
Because I feel like I can do desk work. I'm good behind a desk, but my favorite thing is when I get to do stuff with the public, when I get to interact and do kind of fun and interesting things.
Totally.
So I do that. That's like stuff that happens in the building. That is overseeing sort of like library-wide events or like city-wide events, like an all-library read, where we try and get the public to read all one title and then have programs and conversations around it. Or like our summer reading initiatives, we do that for adults as well as for kids and teens. And there's usually a prize at the end.
I was going to say, I remember the book books being a huge thing when I was a kid for summer reading.
It's varied from year to year, but like there's always like some fun little prize that you can try and win. Or like we do a Comic-Con at the library every it used to be in the spring. We've moved it into the summer for the last couple of years, and I think that's sort of a track we're going to keep on. But like we literally turn the Central Library into a Comic-Con. We have people come in costumes.
That's
we have
so cool.
events. We have face painting. We have local artists and vendors who like are up in our balcony.
Oh, pretty!
And you can kind of go and like see what they have to offer and buy things from them. We have had a bouncy house for the last couple of years, and it's usually we try and get it so that it's at least slightly on theme with Comics Con. And so last year was our 5th anniversary at Comics Con. So those are all events that if I am not sort of like helping plan directly, I am sort of in some way they fall under my umbrella.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I also do a lot of outreach with the community, so I'm not just in the building doing events, but I'm out at Art Beat or Carnival, or I went to the mayor's senior picnic.
I was going to say, that's where we met.
Yeah. And so, like, we do a lot of events, not just myself, but several of my coworkers as well, do a lot of events in the community to get the word out, to get people to know what's going on, to sign people up for library cards if you can't make it to the building, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I am frequently told I do quite a lot. So I also oversee our Museum and Cultural Pass program, where we offer museum passes that give you discounts to local institutions. That's one of the things that sort of runs under my umbrella.
I was going to say, and I feel like people don't realize this, but like go to your local libraries and they will help you get to places you want to go, like AKA the museums in the area. Like things that you wouldn't realize, like, if you use these resources, like, it's just, like, it gives, like, it levels the playing field a little bit for accessibility.
Yes, it does. Because a lot of them, the funds that you need to get to some of these places, especially these days, can be quite high. So, like, the passes vary from institution to institution, and what you get out of them varies from institution to institution, but overall, it definitely allows for a much more affordable way to look at a lot of our, like, cultural milieu that is around here. And then, as if that wasn't enough, I also oversee our for collection development. So getting collections at the library, I oversee our digital.
Cool.
So our Overdrive, the Libby app, that falls under my
Libby.
banner.
Yes.
Yes, the Libby reading app.
I know her.
She's great.
Yeah.
And then there's Hoopla and Canopy, which Canopy is like a film streaming service.
Oh my god, cool. I didn't know that.
And then Hoopla is a little bit of everything under one umbrella. There's films, TV shows, music, books, audiobooks, and more on Hoopla. So, like, these are apps that you can download for free.
If you have a library card, you get access?
You log in with your library card.
Cool.
And you get free access. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, and especially nowadays, it's like you need to have every single streaming service to enjoy any kind of content.
Yep. So then, as the last piece of that is that I also oversee our Library of Things collection.
Which is one of my favorite things at the library.
A lot of people don't know about it, or they're like, what is a Library of Things? And it is literally what it sounds like. It is a collection of stuff that is not books, that's not DVDs or, music of any kind. It's things like cake pans, which we have. It's things like board games. And you can go to the library, find these things, check them out, take them home, use them, if needed, clean them, and bring them back when you're done. So it's a space saving, it's a money saving, it's like, it's all the things that you love about the library. Just expanded to include stuff.
Yeah, and I felt like I was like, oh, this is so cool, because if I was, I don't know, even here at Tufts for a semester and I didn't bring like all of my cake pans with me, because why would I do that? But I wanted to bake something like for a friend.
Yep, come to the library.
Yeah,
check it out.
You wouldn't realize that it's right there.
Absolutely. So that's one of the collections that I'm personally really excited to do more with. We've definitely got a lot of stuff in the works as far as that goes, but a lot of if you're wondering why it's taking so long to get a particular thing, a lot of times we have to figure out how to add it to the catalog, where it's going to live, do all of that behind the scenes background stuff, and sometimes that can take a little while. So we've the collection is up and running. Certain areas of it are a little bit more robust than others. But we do have quite an array of fun things that hopefully will be coming down the road in the future. So.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So, like I said, I have basically carved out what I consider to be the best job at the library.
You're like, and give me everything that's fun. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, let me live my fun life. So, so I very much enjoy what I do every day.
Yeah, that's so cool. So I guess, like, we've touched a little bit on just, like, did you know? I think that was something I wanted to, like, I feel like there's a lot of things that people don't know they can access at their public library, which, like, getting discounted tickets to, like, things like the MFA or, like, museums around here, especially in the greater Boston area. There are so many cool institutions to visit.
And absolutely, yeah. No, so I definitely have some more for you if you'd like me to give you some things.
Yes, please. Like, lay it on me. I feel like when I go into the library, like, my first thought is, like, okay, like, A, I'm going to go to the horror section because that's my favorite genre, and B, like, what fun, cool things are you guys doing? And I feel like as soon as I walked in the door, like, I was working on a side project and I saw all the flyers you guys have going up the stairs. And I was like, they have a book club where you, like, cook stuff? Or, like, I was like, what is going on?
Oh, yeah. So there's so many things. So some just, like, quick little more rapid fire, did you know? We are a fine-free library. So what that means is we don't charge late fees ever. You might see late fees pop up on your record if you have something checked out and it was due back last week. But when you bring it in and check it into one of our 3 libraries, that fine will disappear. Like, you will never be charged a late fee for an item at any of our libraries anymore. So, like, that was something that was we were advocating for it for a long time. We would do fine-free weeks or months sort of leading up to this change, and then it was right around pandemic times that that went into effect, and I think it's such a wonderful thing because like it just takes the stress off of people, especially people who, you know, have a more limited or strict income.
Yeah.
Like it's such a beautiful thing to be able to offer that. We do ask people to like replace books or like do replacement fees if they have, you know, completely lost or if something's damaged beyond repair. Like in those cases, we do still have need to sort of recoup that in some way, but
there's not like a time limit that's like,
hey, no, like, hey, that book was due back last week. We're going to charge you 15 cents a day until you bring it back to us. Like, there's no penalty of any
That's so cool.
anymore. So very happy to see that change. We also offer free printing and scanning.
Oh my God, which we have actually utilized ourselves for some of our flyers, so that's really cool.
Very nice, yes. So we offer up to 20 pages free per day, black and white, or 10 pages in color. It's basically the equivalent of like $3 of free printing every day.
Which, like, that's huge.
And so, like, if you do your 20 pages one day and you're like, the next day you need to come back and do more, you can come back and do more.
Yeah, totally.
If you have, like, a large print job, it's like there is charges for more than the 20 pages or more than the $3 of free printing credit, but we try and make sure that everybody can do at least a little bit.
Which is huge, because I feel like there are people who are like, oh, I just need to print this one thing. Yeah. And like if that was a limit, like that's no longer something that stands in the way of them like filling out paperwork that they might need to do something very important, like whether it's around like where they live or like access to things.
We also never charge for printing tax forms of any kind.
Oh my God, nice. That's cool to know.
That's a government thing. Like, if the government's asking for it, you have to give it to them.
You have to be able to give it to them.
So like we don't charge for tax forms ever.
That's so cool.
And then scanning as well. We have 2 scanners at the library which are usually functioning. And those are both free things to use as well.
That's so cool.
We've touched a little bit on this. Part of my job is I do programs and events, and so those programs and events pretty much are always free.
Yeah.
I think the only time we would ever do something where we might charge for an event is if it's like a fundraiser for the Friends or our foundation, like where we're trying to raise money that would then go back into library services that we offer. So anytime you're seeing something on the calendar, whether it's like
the DIY garden, no, it was a gardening classes.
We have gardening workshops that we do throughout the spring through the fall. Those are always free.
I was like, this is amazing, because I started a garden and I was like, oh my God, I didn't find out about them until they'd finished. And I was like, I would have been there every day. Like,
we've been working with a local organization called Green City Growers for the last, pretty much since I've worked at the library. So at least the last like 7 years or so. And I took over the garden program when I took over my current position and was like terrified. 'Cause I'm like, no, but you see, I come from a family where I think I take after my mother and I kill plants. So how do you want me to run a gardening program?
Yeah.
But I have since become a little bit of a mini, like I'm a potted plant gardener now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I have hydroponic gardens in my house, like in
Let's
my apartment.
go.
Like you really do sort of like gain really cool like insight and understanding and like just like knowledge and things you didn't know you could do. So that's
so cool.
A great part of working at the library. When I'm planning what we're gonna do, like I always think like what would be fun and interesting to me. I'm sure there's somebody else out here who would feel the same way. So let's try it.
Yeah.
But we talked about discount museum passes and places to cultural sites, the zoo, the MFA, the aquarium, Peabody Essex, the Children's Museum, the Discovery Museum, which is out in Acton, which is another great one for kids. I think there's like at least 14 or so different institutions that we offer passes to. And the way that the system works is like you do have to be an adult to borrow them because we don't want people using kids' cards or anything to do that. But you can borrow each pass once.
Yay, spooky.
You can borrow each pass once per month, and then the next month you can borrow it again. But it's basically just so that everybody has the opportunity to try and use a lot of these passes.
That's so cool.
But you could go to all 14 museums in 1 month if you're really down for it. So we also have free study rooms and meeting spaces. They can be a little tricky to book sometimes. You can do it on our website, or you can call the library's reference desk and ask for help with booking the spaces. But we do offer free spaces for the public for meetings. Some people use it for tutoring, for various things. And those spaces are at the Central Library and at the West Branch. East Branch is still a little too small to have any separate meeting space, but but the other two buildings both have spaces that can be booked.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty cool. We've talked a little bit about the Library of Things, different objects that we have that you can borrow, and of course that is, gratis. Same with your library card, you borrow that the same way you borrow a book. We also have take-home technology that can be borrowed from the library. So that is sort of a bit of an offshoot. One of my colleagues who runs our technology in the library runs that program as well. But like Wi-Fi hotspots, Chromebooks, kits that are like both of those combined. We've had Rokus in the past that people can borrow.
That's really cool.
In the teen space, they might be with the regular stuff, but we have had Switches.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah, that you can
I'm like, I'm gonna have to pull up.
We have video games that you can borrow from the library, which are sort of in that similar vein. So just some really interesting, not your old school library kind of items that you can come and get.
That's so cool. I feel like when I walked through the door, I was like, there's so much going on and also like so much you can do.
Yeah, and until you like kind of search for it, it might not be sort of like right in your face, but all of that stuff does exist at our library. We also offer a homebound delivery service for people who are who can't get out of their house or their apartment to get to the library.
Oh, that's sweet.
People who have like
handicap.
Yeah, sometimes handicaps or like age or health reasons where they might not be able, whether it's a temporary thing or a long-term thing. We have staff who will you can work with to check those items out, and they will bring it to you at your house or apartment, and then come and pick them up when they're due back.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Is it one of the librarians that's like on? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's also a really interesting way to get to know your neighbors as well, because it's like, hey, like I know you take out X, Y, and Z author like this amount of time, and I'm gonna bring it to you and pick it up.
Yeah. So we can
talk about like full service.
It's really and again because it is. It could become very overwhelming, so it is definitely limited to people who like really need the service.
So do you like kind of have to like explain the situation and then someone guides you through?
Yeah, like we'll talk about it. Like we've had people again do it just for like a temporary thing, like maybe somebody like
injured,
broke their leg or their hip or something where they for like a certain number of weeks cannot physically like get out. But eventually maybe they get back to a place where they are able to do it, so they're only on it for a little while. And then we have some residents who have used it long term, like for years.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet thing to see, and I've worked with part of it before. So, there was one particular resident that I would go and bring her stuff for a little while. And
oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, it's a very nice feeling to bring stuff to people and to come and get stuff when they need it. We talked a little bit also about the digital resources that we have.
I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I knew about Libby, but I didn't know about the other two.
Yeah, so the other two are slightly lesser known. Not to say that they're, better or worse or anything along those lines. I've used every single one of these services, and I really actually enjoy them all. So Libby is sort of the main one that a lot of people know about. It operates through licensing, so we will purchase licenses for particular books. A lot of them work in the way of it's one copy for one user at a time. So you still wind up having wait lists a lot of time with those books, but they're incredibly popular. The Libby app is great in that I think it's really user friendly. They're constantly looking for ways to improve and update it. You can borrow up to 10 books at a time within our network. So the Somerville Public Library is part of the Minuteman Library Network. So when you're selecting where your library is, sometimes people will be choosing Minuteman before they choose their Somerville location. But we get to borrow up to 10 books at a time, and the minute you've returned one, you can immediately check out another one. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot. I could talk for forever about Libby alone because I do a lot of the collection development for that. And then Hoopla is another app. It has ebooks, it has audiobooks, and then, as I mentioned, it has music, movies, TV shows, all
That
kinds
is so
of
cool.
things under its umbrella. And it's a little bit different than Libby. With Hoopla, you get a limited number of checkouts per month. It's 7 checkouts per month. But everything that you see on that app is immediately available, hence the reason why there's a limit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There is never a wait list for anything that you see when you're using Hoopla. You can check it out instantly.
So I feel like what I'm thinking of too is if I'm a mother or a babysitter and I'm like, okay, like I can't afford to have 7 billion streaming services, so let's use this to like watch something.
And Hoopla has done something over the last few years, which I personally really like. And if you're a parent who's got like a kid who's like voraciously doing things on their devices, Hoopla has this thing called a binge pass.
Ooh.
And the binge pass means you get to check an item out, these particular binge passes, you check out a binge pass, it's good for 7 days, and then for that 7 days, within that pass, you get unlimited access to the stuff in that pass.
Oh my god, that's like, even as an adult, I'm like, sign me up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's different things that you can binge with. So they've got stuff that's like highlights, they've got stuff, tons of like different binge passes that are like kid friendly. Some of them are a little bit more like learning and book related. Some of them are a little bit more like videos. Some of them are games. Some are a combo.
That's so cool.
For adults, they do have a couple that are like puzzle binge passes. So if you are somebody who like does like the word search, the Sudokus, the like this, that, and the other kind of like word puzzly things, like they've got some stuff for you to look at there. And then the one that I personally recommend to everyone is there's a Hallmark binge pass. So if y'all are like watching every Hallmark movie known to man,
and now it's Christmas season, so
in Christmas season they have like so many of the like backlog titles like in this binge pass. So like if you
deep cut Hallmark movies, like wait,
if you don't want to pay for like the streaming service to Hallmark that they just created, do yourself a favor and like borrow the binge pass from the library.
Wow, that's such a pro tip.
Like go through and watch as many of them as you possibly can.
Love that.
It'll get you through the season, I guarantee it.
That's cute.
Yeah, so that one is one that I personally like to recommend as the person who runs the romance book group for the library. So
which I do want to get. We'll get there, but I do want to ask about those as well.
And then in addition to that, we've got some really great like online learning things that you can check out through the library as well. Mango Languages is a great one if you're trying to learn a different language.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I might check that out.
And you can find all of these on the library's website. There's a section on the top right-hand corner of the website that has databases, and if you go into the databases, I believe it lists them alphabetically, but like Mango Languages is a great one to check out. We actually have a subscription to Ancestry.com for the library.
Ooh.
So if you wanted to do some genealogy
research. My god, that's so cool. I've always wanted to do that.
We've got consumer reports. So if you're like on there, you're like want the best new XYZ, like check our consumer reports. You can get free access through the library. And then another one that's good is LinkedIn Learning.
Oh my god, I was just talking to somebody about this today because like they're trying to apply to jobs and I was like, I'm pretty sure LinkedIn you can do certification courses and that'll show up on your profile.
Yep, you can do those through the library.
That's so cool.
Card. Yeah, so there's some really great online learning services that you can access through the library in addition to our like streaming services and fun stuff.
Which I can't say enough. Like I just feel like it's a one-stop shop.
It's so good. Yeah, you really like. Why would you go anywhere else besides your local library for like anything these days? I'm a little biased, but yeah. So like all of that stuff is available. Like check out. I would definitely plug our library's website from here until the end of time because there's so many of our resources live there.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing like genealogy and local history research, there's a bunch of stuff for our local history. There's a place where you can go to like sign up for like if we don't have in our network the book that you're looking for, like, and you need to do an interlibrary loan for like out of our system or even like out of state, we have an interlibrary loan service that you can like go into that on our website, fill out the form of what you're looking for, and a staff member will get back to you as to whether or not they can access it from another library maybe outside of Massachusetts.
Yeah, which I think is a huge resource. I just feel like if you have the desire to learn or have access to some kind of knowledge or whatever you're looking for, like the fact that you guys are so gung-ho about like, and we will help you get there or like get access to it is huge.
We do everything that we can, and if we can't do it, it might not be possible.
Yeah. Love that. It's amazing.
But yeah, so there's that, like somervillepubliclibrary.org. I will stress that is
and we'll share the links when we do post it. We will share all the links.
Because there are libraries. We do sometimes get calls from like people who are looking for Somerville, but it's like New Jersey or like
I didn't even know there was
south. There's a couple other Somervilles that we sometimes get calls from them by accident, or people are looking for, like they said, oh, you had this information available, and it was like they went to the wrong Somerville Public Library website. So somervillepubliclibrary.org. But yeah, so that's a bunch of things. You can also, there's things that you can do with the staff that are resources. So we also do free one-on-one appointments with library staff members. We have one of our staff members does a service that's called Book a Librarian. So you can book a 30-minute appointment and tell the staff member like what it is that you're trying to find or learn, or maybe it's a piece of technology or a software that you want to learn more about, or maybe it's something that's like something historical, or maybe it's something that's like just some random like thing that you want to know more about how to do or what it is. You can make an appointment with a staff member and they will sort of like
be your guide, your Sherpa.
Guide you through it. Like, it's really hard to navigate online these days, like wading through like what is real information, what is fake information,
100%.
What is, like, where are your resources coming from, and like how do you judge whether it's a good resource or a bad resource. Like, that's something your library staff can help you with, because literally that is something we are trained to do.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I feel like something that is like an unsung like hero of like what libraries can do for you is like fact check, not just fact check, but like point in the direction of like this is like an academic like liable source of like information. Yeah, you're not just getting like a random Reddit thread somewhere of like nonsense.
Exactly. Like we're not only like trained in like how to find information, but how to judge where information comes from. Where should you be looking for maybe bias in the information that you're getting? How reliable is the place where you went to get it? All of those things can factor in. So a librarian can really help filter that information out for you and with you and show you how to do it, so you can like know what signs to look for on your own afterwards.
That's so cool.
We also have staff who like specifically have like interests in like history and genealogy and local history. So like there might be people who are a little bit more equipped to do that kind of work with you. We've actually had people like from out of state who maybe had relatives who lived in Somerville, and they were like, our library staff were able to like help them find information on those relatives when they lived here. Cool. Like,
I have relatives who lived here, so I'd love to.
It's pretty sweet. Like, we have some really, our street lists literally go back to the 1800s.
So, oh my god, cool. Yeah, my great grandmother lived here like from the 80s and on. So
yeah,
actually from the 60s.
And then in addition to that, we also have people who can specifically help with like technology that you're trying to learn about. And one of the other things that I wanted to mention is just within the last couple of years, not even a full 2 years, we now have a library social worker.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So this staff member he's like actual social worker who provides patrons with resources and information, referrals to local services. He's been able to help with like benefits and eligibility applications.
That's so cool.
Finding and accessing food.
That's so cool. So it's not even just like for children, it's for like, hey, like I have this issue where I can't get access to X, Y, or Z.
Yep. He's helped with stuff to do with employment and immigration.
That's so cool.
If he can't help you with it specifically, he is able to give you
the
referrals
guidance
to the places and people who can help you get what you need.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's an incredible service. We are so lucky to have him, and he's actually got a couple of interns who are working with him now that are like they're going into social work. So they are like an incredible team.
You can just leave it, Matt. The lights go on and off.
It's like
now we're like being chill vibes. It's very ambient. Get cozy.
But yeah, so like these are just like definitely ones that I wanted to mention. I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting.
No, that's so cool. And it's also like, I remember, because I grew up in libraries, my mom was a librarian, and I remember her being like, you don't realize like how many people you like rely on things that they can get through this institution. It's like, okay, like there might be somebody, especially like in the early 2000s, she was like, people who didn't have internet at their homes were coming in and using our computers, using our printers.
Still that
people
way.
Still show up
it's still
to print.
That way, 100%, absolutely.
Yeah.
It is such a community resource, and I think that it has been like it. Little quick story. When I was in library school, my mom had a friend who very kindly was concerned about my going into library school because they believed that, you know, they're like, really, how much longer a library is going to last in today's day and age.
Oh my God. I'm like, girl.
My mom maybe not quite so as, may have replied with it, she'll be fine.
It's like, yeah, no, you all meet us, so sorry.
But I do think that they're equally as important, if not more important, than they were before, especially now that we're wading into, you know, the age of AI and
it's like oversaturation. Like there's so much information being force fed to you by unreliable sources, like from everywhere you look and everywhere you participate with.
And I'm not saying that every librarian knows the bounds of or how to judge like what is or isn't real when it comes to you know that, because it's such a new
realm to be navigating.
Such a new area for us to be figuring out. But I guarantee you there are going to be classes in current library schools where they will be teaching that, and that will come into the field
100%
within the near future, if it's not already there.
Even just like having the resources like you were talking about with like the social worker, it's just like knowing that you can go to like a public institution and be like, hey, like I just moved here, I am having this problem with like X, Y, and Z, like can you lead me in the right direction? And I feel like you guys really, I noticed the Somerville in particular, like you guys have just such a plethora of resources to try to give to others to help them.
Oh yeah, and it's varied over time. It will change over time. There was a period of a couple years where we had someone on staff who was a notary public and could help with that source. That person has, you know, moved on to different jobs, and so they're not with us anymore at the library, so that's not something we currently offer. But it is one of those things where
ebbs and flows.
We try to do as much as we can with the resources that we have available to us.
Yeah.
But I do think that we do the best that we can to sort of meet the needs of the public currently. But yeah.
I was curious, well, just to revisit, you did mention something about the romance book club. And I know you have like, because I was like, okay, wait, they do a book club that meets at Remnant, or maybe it was Aerodot.
Oh, yes, both.
And then there was like a book club where you like cook a dish and talk about it. And I was like, I'm obsessed with this.
Yes. So I'll talk a little bit about what's happening currently at the library, because there is a lot. I mentioned the book librarian service. That is something that we offer. Technology help is something I mentioned, something that we offer. One of the other like cool services that we offer is a personalized reader's advisory form, which you can find on our website. It's sometimes referred to as like, what should I read next? And you can basically fill out this form on our website, submit it, and in about a week you will receive a personalized list of books recommended to you by our library staff based on the information you gave us in the form.
Oh my God, I need to do that. I was like, wait.
It's pretty awesome. And so like basically you fill out like maybe stuff you read recently, maybe a genres you like, genres you don't like.
And I get fixated on like one, and I go through like phases where I'm like, okay, I need to read everything that's horror, I need to read everything that's mystery, I need to read everything that's like related to like, I don't know, like the female POV or like something that took place in the 19th century.
You can like put like things that you want to stay away from if you have something that you don't want to read about, like, or if you have a particular like aversion to, like.
That's cool.
One of the things that they ask on the form is what if you like what, or like you can put in like what TV shows or movies you've watched recently that you've really enjoyed, and we'll use that as kind of a barometer to figure out like what you might like to read next.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It's a pretty great service.
That's fascinating.
Another thing I want to mention, because this is sort of goes back to what we're doing with the gardening, we are working with a really awesome staff member in the sustainability office for the city, and
oh my God, do I know them? Wait.
Possibly. We're working with it's myself and a couple of my coworkers working with Elise in the sustainability office, and she's fantastic. And we are bringing back, we did the first one last year, and we're bringing back this year a seed library.
Oh my God, cute.
It's going to be at all 3 locations, the same way it was this past year. And basically we'll offer packets of seeds that you can take home and then grow them throughout the gardening season. So it's sort of like a collection, but it's a collection that doesn't necessarily come back in the same way that it goes out in.
Well, it's like you're literally planting seeds in your community.
Yes.
It's like we're actually trying to feed you guys great things.
Yes.
Take it.
And so it's there'll be a lot of fruits and vegetables and herbs, maybe a little bit of flowers, but we're going lighter on the flowers and more on the
things that can really feed you, yeah.
So that we can be a sustainable community.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure I plug that because I think it's awesome.
That's so cool.
And we're going to be in the new year, we're going to be doing seed packing parties. So you can actually help us put the packets together so that we can get them out to the community. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And then programming is a huge chunk of what I do. So one of the things that you mentioned is our book clubs, and we have 9 adult book clubs at the library. Some of them are virtual, some of them are in person, some of them are at the library, some of them are here. So I run 2 of our book groups. So the first one that I run is our romance book group, which is because I can't help but love a really terrible pun. It's called the Between the Covers book group.
Oh my God, cute.
Yes.
Kind of nodding. I love that.
That was on purpose. And so we read romance novels. We meet both virtual and in person. So we mostly meet online, but then we have quarterly in-person meetings at various local establishments.
Oh, fun. So it kind of keeps you literally going to different places in Somerville and getting to experience hanging out.
Then we get to see each other really in person versus online face-to-face. And it's always a really fun book that we read, all romance all the time.
That's so cool.
We then have one of our other in-person off-site book groups that meets at Aeronaut is Books and Brews.
That's what I saw.
Yeah, Books and Brews has been going for a really long time, and they read a mix of sort of contemporary fiction and nonfiction. They do some popular type stuff I couldn't even name them all, but they've done quite an array, sort of a lot of literary fiction or former bestsellers, but both 1 month they'll do fiction and the next they'll do nonfiction, and they always let the people who attend vote. So you can vote, I believe, on Facebook online for what you want the next book to be.
Yeah,
and they'll give you a selection to pick from. So. And then you can go have a drink at Aeronaut and chat up with your fellow neighbors about the book that you read. So that one is pretty great. Like I said, that one's been going pretty much since I started working here, maybe even before I started working at the library. One of the other newer ones that started recently that meets at West is the Celebrity Book Club. And that's TEA.
Is it? Yeah, wait, TEA, we're spilling the tea?
This is a very specific book club. They meet and read and discuss celebrity memoirs.
Cool.
And so they drink tea and they spill tea.
Oh my God, stop. So they're literally drinking different teas while they read them?
Uh-huh.
Is it in person, you said?
Yeah, they meet in person at the West Branch.
I love that.
Yeah.
I live near the West Branch, but also I feel like there's a couple celebrity memoirs that I'm okay, I would definitely participate.
This upcoming month, because I believe the next meeting it's a bit of a longer, between now and the new year. I believe the next one they're reading is Cher's biography.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with her. Is it her outfits? Because that's all I want to talk about.
It was a toss-up between Cher and Barbara Streisand, for anybody who doesn't know which Barbara I'm referring to. But they chose Cher. So.
That's awesome. I'm obsessed with that. I'm sign me up. I just read Tina Fey's
Bossy Pants?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
Yeah, so they've read quite a few, and the more salacious, the better.
Yeah, because it's that's what makes it fun. It's you're gossiping over tea. That's so cute.
Yeah.
That was a really fun idea.
Yeah, and that's one of my coworkers runs that, and she's fantastic. She is a celebrity memoir reader herself, so that's kind of where she was I need to talk about this with someone.
That's so cute, but it is cool when you can kind of like pull like your own interests and then be like, no, I know there's a group of people like me who are ingesting this content. We need to chat about it.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm obsessed.
So there's the East Branch Book Group, which is they meet on a weekday, Friday, like late morning, early afternoon at the East Branch. That's the only book club that meets over there. They, I believe, meet in person pretty much all the time. And they mostly do literary fiction, but the occasional, like, popular nonfiction.
Cool.
That's also, I think, our only adult book club that meets during the daytime. So, we also recently one of our West Branch staff brought back the Science Fiction and Fantasy Book Club.
Heck yeah. We just had a sci-fi author on.
Yeah. I personally am a fantasy nut myself, so like that's my genre, my niche. So I'm a little sad that I don't get to run that or go to that.
Maybe one day, who knows?
One day.
You're like, I have enough on my plate. I'm actually all set.
Might be a day where I maybe need to go home afterwards.
Yeah.
But it's great and I love it. So I'm very happy that like we're covering like almost all, or if not all, of the genres at this point.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Because the other one that I run, which is a virtual one entirely, is the Mystery Book Group.
Love that.
Yeah, and they predate me at the library.
Wow.
Yeah, so this book group I believe we're about to hit the 10-year anniversary for that book group.
You got to pick something crazy then
We're reading an Agatha Christie.
Oh,
they were
wow.
like, no, we need a classic
for 10 years.
For such an anniversary.
I love that.
And they're great, and they like to have a say in what they read, so they are always like recommending stuff that.
Oh, so you mean like the collective of the group are like, hey, we've been doing this book club for 10 years, like join us. So they're kind of like.
There's some of them who have been in the book group for that whole period of time. So, like I said, they predate me even starting to work in Somerville.
But I will say that makes so much sense because I feel like Somerville specifically has so many like artists, creatives, writers, readers, like people in academia in general.
Yeah, and there's people who've cycled in and out of the group over time, but they do have like a nice core set of users who have been there, like if not maybe all 10 years, and like 6, 7, 8.
That's so sweet.
And I love them dearly. It's funny because I'm not really a mystery reader in my own personal reading taste. Like I like a mystery, but I like a mystery where it's got other elements to it.
Mm-hmm.
I like a cozy mystery more than they like a cozy mystery.
That's cute.
But they are some of my favorite people to see every month.
That's so sweet.
I love working with them.
And it is like a little community you guys build. Like it's just like, I think reading is such a special thing where it's like if you do it, you really do it.
Yeah.
And like also I feel like it's a great tool if like we had a literary lounge, somebody who does like a book club. It was out of Juliet, but it was like kind of like a thing where you could BYOB but bring your own book.
And then chat about it.
And I felt like it was just like one of those things where it's like people choose what they're reading based off whether it's like similar to their life or completely different or like something that they fantasize about or like want to experience in some form of way. Like we were talking about like you can't afford to travel, but you can get a book about this culture, like this like area and like kind of microdose like going there.
Absolutely.
And I feel like you guys have such like a huge array of programming that kind of gives people access to different things like learning how to cook
we really try.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, so the last few ones I'll just try and run through them a little quicker, but we have our nonfiction book group which meets virtually. Again, like the subject varies from month to month, but they are always nonfiction. They are always going to meet online.
So like more of like the brainiacs, I guess, if they want to learn.
My coworker Kevin runs that one. He's the head of the reference department.
Oh yes,
so,
okay.
He
goes to the literary lounge. He does, yes.
And he's great, and he's very like he's so good about like all the different subjects that they cover over the course of those books. We also have a fairly new book club that is a queer book group.
Cool.
That and again they read queer fiction, maybe some queer nonfiction as well, but primarily queer fiction, and it's been really great to have that for the community and to like
a safe space.
Absolutely.
Yeah, love that.
And so that's another one that I really love what's been going on with that book group as well. They do a little bit hybrid, like they were like for a while they've been in person then online back and forth every other month.
Yeah.
And then I think they might be looking at a hybrid option where it's both at the same time, but I'm not sure where that's going at. So but all of the information for all of these groups are on our website calendar, which is the other thing that I want to make sure that we plug, because anything that you see or hear me talk about should wind up on the calendar.
Yeah, heck yeah. Should.
And I'm probably going to run through, like, so many things. So, like, if you're worried about forgetting something, it's on the calendar.
It's on the calendar, which we will plug a link to.
Yeah. The last book group that we have is, you mentioned cooking, and that is the Supper Club.
That looked so, I immediately was like, okay, that one. Like, if I could do it, I would do that.
They met, I think, last night for this month, and it was a cookie swap.
Oh my God. That would have been so up my alley. I bake all the time.
Yeah. And so they do a different cookbook or like baking book every month. And
that's so cool.
They all, up to 20 people, I believe it is, can choose a dish to make. And then
so it has to be within the contents of the book.
In the book. Yeah.
So cool. So you get to try all the food from the book. Oh my God.
And then another 10 people can come and help to consume all of the things, all of the 20 dishes that are there.
Okay, wait. First of all, I need to know where they all meet, where we can eat all together. Like, is it in the library or?
They meet steps away from where we are right now.
Shut up.
They meet at Remnant.
So they just block off an area and they're like, we're going to have a ton of dishes.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I have to do it.
Yeah. So it's pretty fantastic.
You will see me at that.
That's two of my coworkers run that one together.
That's so cool.
And it has been super popular. We had started it before the pandemic. Then it had to go away during the pandemic.
Much like everything else.
Right? And then it came back, I think, I want to say maybe 2-3 years ago now. It's hard to judge time.
Yeah, it is. Days just fly by at this point.
It's hard to know when
what year it is.
when each one came back post-pandemic, like it all blurs together. But
so it's at Remnant.
So they meet at Remnant, and
it's once a month that they meet. So you get a month to figure out what you're gonna cook.
Yeah. So and the cookbook, they get a couple of options, and then they get to vote on what the next cookbook is going to be from the options that the staff members give them, and then the staff members will order copies of it. With most of these book groups, if not all of them, we make the books available online if we're able to, as well as have like physical copies. Like with mine, I usually let people decide how they're going to read it, physical or in person, and then they can go find it themselves. But like I link all of the books that we do for both of my book groups are linked on the calendar listing for that book group for that particular meeting, so people can find the digital version or the physical in print version to order. But yeah.
That's so cool. No, yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking that out. I'm really sad I missed the cookie swap. That sounds like it was so fun.
They'll probably do more sometime in the future, but yeah, they do some pretty awesome stuff. One of the other things that I like to talk about as far as like programming goes with the library is we do a lot of regular meetups or regular meetings that are not necessarily book meetings. So these are like things that happen monthly or sometimes bi-monthly, that are like similar to a book group where you like come and like meet people and talk about the thing. These are like activities that you can come and do and like talk about things and meet members of your community.
We love that. That's like something that we really try to facilitate even here. So.
Yeah. So we have a chess night at the library, at the Central Library.
Cute.
The first Monday of every month, we put out chess boards, and members of the community can come and play games with each other.
That's so sweet.
Against each other. There's no like teachers, but it's sort of like a.
Is there an age limit?
No, that one is like we let kids up, teens.
Wait, adorable!
Adults.
So there's sometimes like really young kids playing with older. That's so cute.
It's super adorable.
That's really sweet.
And we have enough chess sets that we have like 8. We can have like up to like 8-ish games going at once, which we've had before.
That's so cool.
Pretty crazy. One night we had like 10 games going. It was insane. But yeah, so we have that. They meet once a month. The Central Library has a knit and fiber arts night with a local like group started. So like if you do any kind of knitting or fiber arts, crocheting, quilting, sewing, whatever, they meet at the Central Library once a month. Recently we started having and this was community driven as well, the Somerville Cine Club. So Cine, think like cinema.
Yeah.
So they meet and watch a movie and discuss it on a monthly basis.
Oh my god, fun. So it's kind of like people who are just like, I want to talk about like the theory or like concepts of
cinephiles.
Yeah.
And so they'll watch a movie and then like talk about it.
Do they do anything with the Somerville movie theater? So that would be super fun.
I don't know actually if they've done anything. It's a pretty recent, that one. I started, I want to say, within the last 6 months.
Yeah.
We have my coworker at the West Branch has a Stitch Club that just started over there.
Ooh.
This month, literally just started, I think. So we have sewing machines over at the West Branch.
Whoa, so you can learn how to use a sewing machine?
Yeah.
I would love to do that. Matt is really good at it. My partner in this project, he can sew anything, but I've never been able to do it. I can sew a button on a jacket again. That's as far as I've gotten.
And so, like, they'll have people there who will be able to, like, who know how to operate the machines. And, like, if you know how to do it, you can come and, like, bring a project and, like, work on a project.
Whoa.
But, like, there'll be people there you can talk to, get advice from, like, just,
I would
like,
love to do that.
members. So it's pretty sweet.
Especially because I have a very, like, I picture outfits in my head, and sometimes I'm like, well, I can't wear this outfit because it doesn't exist, but I would love to go there and be like, and I'm going to make it. Fun.
The West Branch also offers open sewing hours, which doesn't have anybody sort of, like, who would be able to, like,
running it, but
assist. But it's like, if you have a project you want to work on, they have, like, hours that they offer where you can go and use the sewing machine.
which is huge, especially I feel like in a place like Somerville where your space is so, like, I feel like we've talked about this before, like, it is such a packed community. It's like 4 square miles. There's almost 100,000. Yeah, like, it's so many people. Like, it is like a space saving, like, how can you use the space you have? So not having to invest in a sewing machine because I know I can go to the library to use it is huge. That's so cool.
That's also something that hopefully will be in our things collection that you could, like, check
borrow
out and
and
take home eventually.
So cool.
Eventually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. The Boston Leather Guild also recently started meeting at the West Branch.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know as much about it, but I will say that, like, you can find details on our calendar, and they come every month and they talk about leather-related things.
Oh my god, cool.
It's pretty interesting.
That's so cool.
It's a little different. We also offer at the East Branch. We have senior chair yoga. So again,
I have
another
heard of
one
this.
that we do during the daytime. And that's been pretty popular, actually.
Yeah, my mom was a librarian in the town we grew up in, and my grandmother would go to this thing called Bones Builders. I think that's what they called it there, but it was a similar idea of, like, just getting you out of your chair.
Yeah. And they meet, I believe, like, twice a month.
That's sweet.
For that one, which is pretty cool. One of the ones that we have been working with for a little while now is we do death cafes at the library. So the Death Cafe is basically you go and you have a conversation with community members about death and dying.
Oh my god.
We
could do a whole hour on this.
It's a concept that started, I think, I don't remember exactly where it started, but it's basically a free-flowing conversation. There's no specific topics. It's just basically the people who are there are sort of leading the conversation amongst themselves. And the idea was that, like, sometimes there are things that you might be more comfortable talking about with strangers than with, like, people who you're close to.
I love that.
Or maybe
I
you
love
don't
that.
have people that you're close to, but you have things that are, like, on your mind. Maybe you've lost someone recently. Maybe you're taking care of somebody who is, like, you know, in the last stages of their life. Maybe you work in, like, a hospital or, like, in a hospice type situation, and like, those are things that you deal with. It's not grief counseling, and that's something that they do stress. Like, it's not meant to be a
grief, like...
but concepts around that might come up in the moment.
That's so cool, and I think that it's one of those things that is, like, for some reason in our society, like, not widely talked about. And I have friends who've experienced, like, very intense loss, and the way that they've been treated by people in the community, or, like, their, like, even their loved ones that they're close with changes. And having a space to go where, like, everyone understands, like, the same kind of, like, impact that this has had on you, and, like, you feel safe to just, like, open up. That's so cool.
And again, like, sometimes it can be very freeing to have a conversation about these very heavy subjects and very heavy topics with people who don't have a stake in the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Maybe you're never going to see some of these people ever again. So that frees you up to say things that maybe you wouldn't be comfortable saying with people that you are close to.
That's so cool. And it's called Death Cafe.
They're called Death Cafes.
I'm obsessed with that. It also, it sounds
sorry. I was
healing.
going to say, we have them sort of, over the past couple of years, they've been rotating between all 3 locations on some, like, a monthly basis. So, like, first month it'll be at Central, then the next month it'll be at the West Branch, next month at East Branch, back to Central, and on throughout the year.
That's so cool.
We wind up having about 3 or 4 at each location.
I'm sure those are very powerful like experiences to be a part of.
And so like it can be just like kind of an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And one thing that we do is like we again, we offer tea. And we have some cake so that you can have a nice little sweet treat while you're talking about something that's a little bit more serious. Yeah.
I love that.
They're fun.
Talk about a full service. Like, give me a place to go to where I can, like, literally lay it down. Like, especially, I agree with that sentiment of just, like, sometimes it is easier to meet with a group of strangers. I'm sure they have a lot of support groups for different things, obviously. But I feel like that's definitely something that I found to be true is, like, getting to talk with people that have had a shared experience that might not know you. Yeah. It's, like, a little bit easier to kind of, you don't feel like you're unloading on someone that, like, is in your support system.
Yeah.
So cool.
We're, 10 minutes.
Just give us a cue.
But feel free to like continue talking. I'm like learning so much. So, like,
I was gonna say we haven't even gotten.
He gives us a cue.
Take your time. I'm laying here, but I'm listening to every word.
One of the other things we also have done regularly recently is we offer mending workshops with a local vintage shop owner.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if you know Jessamy Shea, but she's got a vintage clothing store that
sounds familiar. Where
she runs. It's pretty local, and of course I'm blanking on the name of the store right now. I'm a terrible person.
We'll find it. We'll plug it.
But she's amazing, and so she does mending workshops at all 3 of our locations.
Cool.
Again, usually 1 or more per month, except in the summertime we take summers off. But like it's been stuff like hand sewing for mending, embroidery, repairing garment closures, so like buttons and hook and eye, and like how to do all that. Darning is one of the classes that she offers, so like those have been really fun and very popular. There's sort of like a limited amount of people who can attend each one just so that she can really work with the people who come, but like we're always getting people clamoring for more workshops with Jessamy.
That's so cool.
She's fantastic. So I love to plug those programs. We also offer stuff sort of like on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. I do board game cafes at the Central Library.
Hey, cute.
So we, as I mentioned, have a board game collection. And whatever is in the collection on that particular afternoon, anybody who comes to the board game cafe can basically grab the game off the shelf, bring it downstairs, and play it with whoever comes to the cafe. We've had months where we've had like a couple games going, and then we had one month where we had like 7 games happening at once.
Wait, fun.
It's pretty fantastic. I have seen quite an array of giggles come out of some of those sessions. So
yeah, that's so rewarding. Like just like knowing that you're setting up an experience for people who might like make a friend or like actually like leave the house if they don't typically get to do that. Like. Yeah.
And like maybe there's a game you really like to play, but you don't have anyone to play with.
I know, and then you get to do it.
Yeah,
it's cute.
Good stuff. We have a queer craft night that meets every other month, and again, like
cool.
just so that we're like inviting in the queer community.
Safe spaces.
Safe spaces, and we do like really fun things. Like I think maybe one of my favorites with the queer craft night. We were doing Shrinky Dinks, which is usually done by kids. It's like you put the little like plasticky thing in the oven and it shrinks down to like this hard plastic.
Yeah.
Like you may have played with them when you were like 12.
I remember them.
And I was working that oven for like 2 hours and it was hilarious.
You're like, all right.
I was like cranking through them. It was great.
That's cute.
So like something like that has been like really fun to do. Like we've made all kinds of like, those are really hands-on and I love it. Like we've done like making mosaic tiles. We have made our own rubber stamps. Like it's like the array of things that we do is really great.
So interesting. It's also cool because it's like get out from behind a screen, use your hands, meet people in like a public space. Like all of it is free.
Love a hands-on program.
Yeah.
So I usually like gear towards that. Similarly, we have in the wintertime we do a program since the year that I first started called Getting Cozy at the Library, and it is Higa inspired. So just the idea of like everything cozy. So we put on a fake fire on the projector screen.
Oh my God, stop. We should do that here.
We offer hot chocolate, and you can come in your pajamas if you want, and we just do like a cozy craft.
So it's like a PJ party.
And it's for adults.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Again, sign me up.
We did one this past weekend where we made pom-pom garlands.
Oh, I actually love those.
Next month we'll be doing cross-stitch.
Okay, cool.
And then like in February, which is the last one we've got planned for this season, we're making beaded plants.
Oh, cute.
Google it. They're so
I was just going to be
weird
like, I don't really know what that entails.
They're so weird and fun, and I kind of love them.
I will put that in my notes app, actually. I will do that.
But, like, yeah, so that's a great program that's been going, like, literally since I started working in Somerville.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I'm also personally a big fan of a swap. So we've done board game swaps. Well, actually, we're doing our first board game swap tomorrow night. But we've done a bunch of puzzle swaps at the library. So, like, Somerville has, I don't know if you know, but has a huge puzzling community.
I would totally see that for us. That actually checks out in a lot of ways.
So you can bring the puzzles that you've already completed to the library and swap them out with ones that other people have done so that you're getting all new puzzles to do without having to buy puzzles. It's good for the environment.
I come from a big puzzling family. We've like very much, I think we started out with like the I Love Lucy like chocolate scene on a puzzle. And then it branched into like the 1,000-piece Norman Rockwell puzzles where I'm like, okay, like this is going to take us literally years. I don't
But yeah, there's quite a few puzzlers on staff at the library, so there's an entire set of shelves downstairs that is
sweet.
covered in puzzles in the library staff break room that several of our myself and coworkers will work on our breaks.
That's so cool.
And then, so in addition to that, like we've done craft supply swaps. We'll probably do another one of those around Earth Day because I like the reduce, reuse, recycle of craft supplies.
And also, like, I was an art teacher for a while, and like the stuff that you collect over time that you're like, I'm not using this, but somebody might have a use for it.
Yep. Maybe you started a project and you did the thing and you have so much leftover fabric or yarn or whatever, and like, maybe somebody else will be looking for that. We did our first accessories swap at the library this past November, where it was like jewelry, it was
Oh my God.
hats,
When are you doing that again?
I have no idea, but probably at some point. But yeah, I actually got this particular ring right here.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Came from that swap.
I love that.
Maybe these earrings that I'm wearing. So I'm a very big fan of like the idea of like reuse,
Yeah.
and refresh. And I was like, we did it at that time for the accessory swap because it's like right before the holidays. Maybe people are
Get
going
gifts,
out,
yeah.
get a little something new, something that you want to give to someone else. It just worked out really well. So
you had like a big turnout.
Yeah, that one was pretty. I think we had definitely 40, 50.
I'm gonna keep eyes out. I am gonna put that in my notes to keep eyes out for the next one.
But yeah, so like I like that kind of thing. I like a swap. So tomorrow will be our very first tabletop games swap, where it's like board games, card games. Hopefully they have all their pieces. Bring them to the library. Maybe refresh them right before the Christmas break. Maybe your kids will wind up with a new game to play during the break before they go back to school.
Oh
again.
yeah, that's sweet.
All that kind of stuff. And then so we do those semi-regularly, and then we have our like sort of like one-off things that we do where it's like or maybe they're things that don't have like a regular number of times a year that we do them, but they're just like fun things like writing workshops, and we've done yoga series at the library, like stand-up yoga.
Wow.
We do a lot of crafting. We've done cooking demonstrations and taste tests. One of the things we've got coming up that my coworker and I are bringing back in probably later in the winter is a program that we did last year called How Do You Hot Chocolate?
Oh my God. And I would love to learn.
And it's basically like, how do you like to make your hot chocolate? Because people make it all different kind of ways. So you can come in and make chocolate, make some hot chocolate.
That is so cute. And then everyone shares
and
it.
everybody meets, and maybe we'll put out some coloring and like have, we'll just
It
have
sounds like a
fun.
lot of different ways to just like zen out, but also like be outside of your home.
Connect with the community.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
In like a chill way. And I don't want to go to a bar. Like, I'm not somebody that likes doing that. So it's nice to know you guys provide these experiences.
Absolutely. We do we've done the occasional movie nights. We do music concerts where we try and bring in different artists. We had a guy who did the songs of Johnny Cash this past fall. I'm hoping that maybe we'll be able to find and get somebody later in the spring, like in March, to do maybe something like Irish or Celtic music for like St. Patrick's Day.
Oh my God, just go to the Burn and be like, come on down. Literally. They're in there like every night.
So we try and like vary it up and bring in like different types of music, different artists, like and like get new people into the Somerville community and expose the Somerville community to different like types and styles of music.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and yeah, we do a wide array of things like that. If you want, I can give you a little bit of a rundown on what's coming up.
Yeah, totally. I feel like we could like maybe end with like what you want to promote for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm sure is a list on your arm because you guys do so much.
Always.
It still like amazes me. Like I feel like when I first entered the Somerville Library ecosystem, like I came from a very small library where it was like they were open like 3 days a week. Like it was like they didn't have a lot of funding, but like what they did, they used a lot of it towards like mostly kids programs, which I think is like considered the norm. Yeah. Something I thought was so cool about Somerville specifically is I was like, oh, they have like so many programs for adults.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, it's funny, I feel like it's a voracious beast that is always asking for more, but like, I do try and plan a lot.
It's so cool. It's like, we are so lucky to live in a community that cares about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, please go off on, I know you have a lot to talk about.
So much, but yeah, so it's some of the stuff we've got coming up. Obviously, I mentioned the game swap. We've got the Somerville Cine Club is going to be screening a 2022 film Magic Spot on Monday the 22nd.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And then the last one that we're doing for adults, and I'm specifically talking about adults here, there's probably a ton of stuff for kids.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a puzzle swap at the West Branch on the 29th, so the week between Christmas and New Year's. Like, if you are like a superhuman puzzler who like finishes all the puzzles that they got for the holidays by the 29th, you can go and swap it out for some new stuff.
Cute.
Right before the end of the year. And then in the new year, we're going to be bringing back yoga at the chair yoga at the East Branch, Thursdays at 11, twice a month. Our first board game cafe of the year is on January 10th. It's a Saturday afternoon. Board game cafes are always on a Saturday afternoon.
That's so cool.
So that will be happening. Our Getting Cozy, where they'll be doing the cross stitch, is on the 11th.
Definitely marking my calendar for that.
I have become a big purveyor of like stuff that you may have enjoyed as a kid, doing it as an adult.
I love that idea. Yes, finding your whimsy again. Like it's literally finding your whimsy.
Absolutely. So one of the programs that I created this year that we'll be bringing back is Scratch and Sip for adults. So the scratch part, like think scratch art.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you know,
like the little black books.
Sheets that's got the color underneath.
Those are like every art kid's jam.
And there are some that they make that have preset designs in them. So if you're like me, who like you see that blank piece of paper and your brain immediately goes, I don't know what to draw. I don't draw. I'm not good at drawing.
Oh.
What am I going to make? How's it going to look? Like if you're like doing that internalized spiral, like me, there are some that come with preset designs, so you scratch off the gray part, and it has the design already made for you. So you can kind of
just
set out
yes.
with a pre-done design. They have some that are like bookmark size, and then some that are bigger, like actual full paper size. So I put those out. I put out some beverages. There's a scratch. There's a sip.
Cute.
And so yeah, that one we're doing on Thursday the 15th at the Central Library. My coworker and I, the same one who I do the hot chocolate program with, which we'll do in February, end of February, beginning of March. But we're also going to be doing cookie decorating for adults and teens on Saturday the 17th.
Oh, cool.
So,
can you bring your own cookies?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing your own cookies if you wanted to. We'll probably buy some. We'll make some if some of us are feeling ambitious.
Nice.
But we will have all the decorating supplies, all the frosting, all the candy, all the this, that, and the other thing. Maybe some books if you want to try your hand. Like, there's some cupcake
Techniques.
and cookie, like, decorating books that are out there.
Cool.
But we will have that for people to decorate their cookies with.
That's such a good idea, too. Like, if you have a relative visiting, like, I feel like I'd be like, oh, my God, we have to go to the library to do this thing. Like, that's so cute.
And that one is, like, ages, like, 15, 16 on up. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Didn't know.
Then we have a listening to classical music with a professional violinist, Joshua Peckins.
Oh, wow.
That is on Sunday the 18th. And we've worked with Joshua at the libraries for many years now. He is wonderful. He has performed concerts for us, and because of an injury, he can't perform this year. So he is teaching us about listening. We're going to listen to classical music. He's going to point out stuff as a professional who plays the music, what might be some interesting things to hear or listen for when
That's
you're
so cool.
listening to classical music.
He's your Sherpa for, like, how to
Very much.
get
and
down to
he's
classical.
lovely, so I highly recommend
That's
if
so
you get
cool.
a chance to come and listen to him. The East Branch also does a craft night. They say it's for ages 9 to 99.
Cute.
They're doing one of those on Thursday the 22nd. I believe they might be making 3D snowflakes, which one of my coworkers teaches how to do. So if you miss the opportunity to do that this month, you can try it out next month.
Cool.
We have one of our death cafes will be at the West Branch in January.
I would love, yeah, totally. I think that's something that I feel like people, it would be nice to, if you don't know about it and you've experienced loss, like that's such a cool thing to get out and see.
That will be Monday the 26th, I believe, at the West Branch.
Cool.
We have a local herbalist who is going, we've worked with Mo Katz Christie quite a number of times at our libraries, and they're coming back on Thursday the 29th. They're doing the art of medicinal spice blending.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We did fire cider. We had an episode where someone taught us how to make fire cider with like herbal like remedies. It was so cool.
Yeah. So that will be really fun. And then one of my colleagues will be leading a speed friending for adults on Saturday the 31st.
Oh my God, sweet.
Yeah. So that will be like sort of like round robin meeting people and all of that.
Yeah, we hosted an event similar last year that was really fun.
Yeah. And those are all in-person events. I know there are some people who are like virtual only. Again, maybe you can't get out of the house or anything along those lines. Maybe you just want to attend a program in your pajamas.
Which is always what I want to do.
not
That's
getting
always
cozy.
what I want to do.
And I personally have found that, especially post-pandemic, a lot of people are gravitating towards, like, those things where, like, you learn a new thing, like, or you listen to somebody, like, do presentations and discussions are happening a lot more online.
Yeah.
And we're actually working with quite a number of other local libraries to sort of resource share with some of these kind
That's
of
so
programs
cool.
so that we can bring more of them to the public. So we're doing a few of those. One of them, which is if you're not sort of like, if your battery is still full enough for this, we're doing a program called Poisoning the Well, How Forever Chemicals Contaminated America.
Oh my God. So it's like the history of how we did like...
Yeah, so if you're like an environmentalist, like this might be the program
That's
for you.
fascinating. So it's just like how we polluted the planet.
A little bit. And
Okay,
we're doing
cool.
that one with the Tewksbury Public Library, I believe.
Oh, hell yeah.
We're doing one with Ashland Public Library, which is, we're doing a couple with Ashland Public Library, which is Two Nerdy History Girls Ride Again. So these are
Love that.
history authors who were like, they basically just like get together and talk history together, and they're fantastic and hilarious. So if you're a history nerd, they're a fun one to tune in for.
That's so cool.
One that I have planned pretty much just for Somerville that is a virtual program, but I think could be a very timely one for the start of the new year is basically I have titled it Declutter Your Year.
I need that.
How to get and stay organized in 2026.
Oh my God, wait. Will you tell me where and when that is? Because I need it.
That one is happening online. It is on the Thursday the 22nd.
Okay.
And that one will be virtual. So literally wherever you are, you can sign up to it.
So I'll just be in my room with all my cleaning supplies, just like waiting for.
And it is with an author who wrote a book called Keep This, Toss That.
Oh, cool. So kind of like the Marie, what is it?
A little bit Marie Kondo.
Yes, Marie Kondo.
But also maybe a little bit different. We've worked with them before last year, and through the Newton Public Library. So this year I reached out to them to do something specifically just for Somerville.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, keep this, toss that author, decluttering and organization. And I'm hoping that we will be working with them again in the spring to do like a spring cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I love that.
Get ready for your yard sale kind of season.
And you know, Somerville has the craziest yard sales I've ever experienced in my life.
Yes.
I find things that I'm like, and I needed this and I didn't even know I needed it.
So that, and then the last one that I've got that's a virtual program is Creating a Modern Homestead with homesteader and blogger Victoria Pruitt, and that is with the Ashland Public Library as well.
Oh,
and
cool.
so this person is basically going to talk about, like, you might not be a homesteader or want to do, like, specifically all of the things related to
Are we
homestead.
talking about, like, Martha Stewart, like, living style, like, how to keep your home?
But it's a little bit also, like, how to be more sustainable.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
So it's like little, like, pro tips.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is another person who I believe has written a book on the subject. So
That's so cool that you guys get to, like, reach out to these people who are, like, experts or, like, have these programs and you're like, let's, like, make this a thing everybody can access and, like, learn about.
yeah. And honestly, it's a great way for authors to get, like, word out about their programs, but it's a great way for us to learn about a subject that we might not know about.
So if I'm a local author and I, like, have something I want to talk about, could I hypothetically reach out to the Somerville Public Library and be like, hey, I do this thing?
Potentially. I will say that we don't, just based on, like, bandwidth, we don't always have time to do all of the things. But we also have done, I did a couple years ago a program with, like, 5 local authors where we had, like, back to back to back. They did, like, readings from their books and whatnot that they all had stuff that had come out recently. So it's like, I think we called it, like, an author fair.
Cute.
So I'm always down to maybe do something like that again.
Hell
like,
yeah.
You're able to, like, hear from not just one author, but maybe several. So I think that is another way that potentially we can, like, get local authors, like, in and accessible, and we do one-offs here and there, but a lot of times it is something that is part of the overall swath of planning.
Oh my God, and I was going to say, and you guys do the most, which is why I was like, and we need to get her on the show.
I am told that my resolution for the new year should be to start learning how to say no.
Me and you both, girlfriend. I get that. I'm like, let's do it all. And then I'm like, why did we say we'd do it all?
How am I going to do it all?
But also, like, it is an important thing that you guys are doing, and I did want to just, like, give you your flowers on, like, you are providing the community, like, a huge service. All these free programming, like, whether you're, like, a child or an adult, and just, like, having access to these things is so important.
100%.
Especially, I think, in today's environment, like, being able to go to your library and be like, I'm looking for this, I need to do that, or, like, I want to learn about this, or I would love to know what steps I have to do to learn or do some kind of skill or, like, accomplish a goal. Like,
people use the word third space as, like, a huge buzzword a lot
yes,
nowadays
I've heard
without,
that.
I think, really knowing what it is or what it means. And honestly, there are a lot of places that are considered third spaces. Basically, your first space is your home. Your second space is, like, work or school, whether you're a student or an adult. Like, maybe you're going to work, you're a kid, you're going to school. That's your second space. Yeah. So your third spaces are all of those other spaces where you spend your time. Yeah. And when you really look at what our life is like nowadays, think about how many of those third spaces that you can go to that are free to go into.
It's so minimal.
That are not going to kick you out after 20 minutes if you haven't bought something.
Facts.
That don't have, like, a gate that they're going to lock on you. And now, like, obviously the libraries are not open 24/7. They do close at the end of the day because we do need to go home.
Yeah, everybody needs to rest at some point. Let's give her a break.
But it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what your status is. It doesn't matter, who you are, how you live, what politics you believe in. Like, none of that matters. You can go into the public library. Yeah. It's a concept that I don't think could have been invented today if it didn't already exist today.
Yeah, I feel that.
So it's wonderful to see that people still are able to come into us, and we're still able to bring as much as we can to the public.
It's really cool.
Yeah, but
it's rewarding.
It's definitely one of those things that makes me glad to go and to do my job every day and to be able to offer what we can to people. We can't offer everything. We try.
You definitely
we do try.
Attempt.
We make the attempt. But hopefully people, and I do think they do, see and understand and appreciate what it is that we're bringing to them. We just recently did a strategic planning survey to the community, and
oh yes, I helped. Yes,
yeah,
I remember.
We just started to sort of read through the results and the comments, and it does bring me a little bit of joy to
I
see
bet
that things are resonating. And hopefully continue to make improvements as we can.
Yeah, and I feel like the libraries just put out a survey to get feedback on like what people thought they could improve on, or like what like they felt their experience was with the Somerville Public Library system. And I was like, in my head, I was like, there's got to be. I'm sure the data you received is a lot to sort through, but just I feel like we live in a special kind of community that really does value just like academia, education, art, like kind of just like the idea of like you're a forever student.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I love living here, but I also noticed like walking to any of the libraries here, I'm just like, and they chef's kiss.
Yeah.
You guys nail it.
And a big part of why we did that survey is because we're taking the feedback from the community and putting it into our strategic plan. We do, we're, a government entity, nonprofit, like kind of organization, but we do still try and plan out like strategic goals over the next 5 years. So what feedback we've gotten, we'll take that into account as we're building those goals. So it's community-driven library services that hopefully will continue to resonate with people going forward. So
yeah, that's so cool. I mean, like, obviously, thank you so much for coming on and talking about all these wonderful programs, but even just the work you do in general for the community is wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lovely.